morning. Oh yeah, there's the thing that's coming for the gleaner. So yeah, we've got a Crary Wind System. So we got some guys out from Crary, they're putting her on here for us. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this does. So price of beans is up considerably, and we want to make sure we get all of them. Alright, so we're getting our wind reel hooked up. We're checking clearances and stuff. I don't think we're going to run it today. It's actually 4:30 already, so we're going to basically try to get some of our hardware installed and then try to test it tomorrow is the plan. Oh boy.
You can see they're spring loaded, and they're always keeping tension, and then you can replace the wear pads.
Well, isn't that just nifty?
So it's always.
So this is controlling how much airflow is going through the fan then?
Yep, exactly, yep. So there's a butterfly in there that's opening and closing, so you're wide open, or so it's controlling that actuator up there.
Okay. So do people use the remote, like when they're getting out working on stuff or something like that? Okay.
Exactly, or you're driving along in the pickup and somebody else is running the combine, you want to see how it's running, so if you want to have the controls from there, but yeah, if you're out here working on it and you got the controls from...
He lost me at someone else running the combine. So one product that Crary does that I didn't even know they did, they make cutter bars. So we actually just ordered a cutter bar, and we were talking about it, and one of the guys said, well, we've got a sample of our cutter bar in the truck. Well, unfortunately, our new one is sitting over here. It is the same style cutter bar that came on the gleaner. We're gonna put that on the other McDon. Side note, we have a 50% chance of rain this afternoon, and hopefully we get that, or our beans are gonna take a hit. But yeah, the one thing I like about their cutter bar here is it's got spring pressure on the hold down, so as that wears, you're still getting pressure on your cutter bar. The one we're putting on our McDon has these rollers, and it's just a completely different design. And the one that's on our McDon, you actually have to shim it to keep pressure on there, and we never do. So that seems like a much better designed system. Right here, we're going to start up the reel and run it. We're not going to run the blower system just yet. We still got a little bit of work to do. Just going to check some clearances first. Basically making sure all of our tines are clearing okay. So those silver tubes or tines, or whatever you want to call them, that's the stuff, that's the channel that the air is coming out through. So the air is going to come out right there. So on the gleaner, we can turn the reel speed down, so the reel is at 0 right now. See if Dad remembers how to turn it up. So we got the wind system up and going, but figured we might as well do a walkthrough and talk about what the purpose of this wind system is and how it's going to actually make us some money. So, what we got going here? How does this thing work?
So, brand new wind system. What do you think so far?
Well, it looks really cool. Yeah, it definitely makes the front of the combine look pretty aggressive.
So guys, I'm Jason with Crary. Basically, here it is, the wind system's installed, fans on the back. This is our belt drive system. On the AGCO Gleaner heads, we use the belt drive system, which it's a nice clean system. Works really good. Just like as many of you may know, our systems just pump air through these tubes. Push your beans up in the head, shatter loss. It's gonna help your head feed better. You're gonna blow a lot of that trash and stuff away. So Really simple system, and look forward to you getting out this harvest and trying it out.
So the way this thing's working though, we're using this blower back here, right?
Yeah.
And we're
So you got your blower on the back that's being driven. So here's your belt drive system. You know, it's being driven off your PCO with your drive shaft.
Yep.
You have two belts, you know, a primary belt and then your secondary belt. Turning your fan, and that's what's blowing the
air. And then we're pumping the air through those tubes. And
pumping the air through your tubes and out the front tube, which we call the manifold, and right down those drop tubes and blowing the beans in the head.
So with your other systems, so like a lot of people watching, I mean, I've seen them on Larson's channel and Millennial Farmer.
Yep.
It's a little bit different system because this is a different head, different application.
Yep. So some of these heads, you know, we do use the gearbox system to get the timing and stuff, or I mean the belt system to get the timing right. If you do have a gearbox system, you're going to turn 30% more air.
Okay.
So we say and advertise, you know, 200 mile an hour air out the nozzle. This one will be backed off of that. You're going to have enough beans you're blowing ahead, but you're not going to have so much air that you're worried about blowing beans over the combine.
Okay.
So
we are a little limited just by the design of this head in particular.
Just a little
So
bit.
one thing that's different about the AGCO head, our reel is one piece. So with this one having a single piece reel though, one problem we did have that we've actually just remedied right back there was we were adding so much more weight to the front of it. It really wasn't a lot of weight, but we only have 2 cylinders lifting up our reel.
Yeah.
Versus where if we had a 2-piece reel, we'd have a cylinder in the center there.
Well,
but we got that fixed now, and it lifts just fine.
And guys always ask how much weight. Probably 800 to 1,000 pounds.
Most of that's right
Most
here,
of it's
though.
back here, but we do find, and on John Deere systems specifically, we have to change those lift cylinders out. Because the OEM cylinders are not strong enough.
Okay.
Yours, luckily, we could turn it up a little bit and they work fine. Worst case scenario, you change out the cylinders, you know, it's $800 and away you go. So.
Yeah. So do you guys have any kind of studies on what kind of savings people are seeing or side-by-sides? Or?
You know, on average, 2 bushel an acre. The drier the beans, of course, the shorter the beans, you'll hear guys and see 3, 4, 5 bushel an acre. That's possible. You don't pencil off of that for your ROI.
Right.
You know, you figure 1 to 2 bushel an acre, and especially with a draper that's going to pick better, process better, 1 to 2.
Okay.
And that'll show you what your return's going to be.
Is there any other applications or uses of the wind system other than saving bushels? Like I thought I heard one of you talking about trying to help pick up down crop.
You can, you know, and some guys use it, run it in wheat. You know, down beans, you know, too, of course. There's some guys that do edible beans, so there are other applications that the air can be used on.
Okay. Yes. It's a pretty exciting system for us. We've been pretty curious about it for a while. There's just not any in our neighborhood. In fact, this is the only one I've ever been around in person, other than at a farm show. So, pretty interested to see how it works. We've always been running MacDon heads. One of the reasons we like a MacDon head, we can put our reel on the ground and not cut any of the teeth off of our reel. Just the design of a MacDon head. But caveat to that is we do lose a little bit. We're not getting everything because the way that head flexes. This being a flex cutter bar head, we're going to follow that ground more, but we were worried that we wouldn't be able to get our reel down far enough.
Right.
And I really think this wind system is going to bridge that gap for us pretty well.
Yep, it'll do a great job. So.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming out.
Yeah, no, we've enjoyed it. It's been a good week. We've had a good time.
One thing about it, if it stays this hot very long, we'll be using this thing soon. So.
Yeah.
But I hope we get some rain though. I don't want to use it too soon.
We picked the hottest day. I mean, like the hottest 2 days to install this thing.
Well, Dad promised you there'd be a breeze, so not only did you pick the hottest days, you picked the least windy days.
And the funny thing is, I've waited for that breeze, and it doesn't come. Like, where's it at? So
yeah, it's
all good.
about 95 and stale.
We're out of the sun. You have a nice shop we could use here, so it works perfect.
Yeah, I think we got her on. We'll be trying this thing out here pretty soon. We have something to actually run through it, not just stubble.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, guys, this is later in the day. The Crary guys, they have all went home. We actually are getting some much needed rain. Unfortunately, we're not getting much, but we will prolong life for another day. But anyways, thought I would go over a couple things with this system and why we chose to do this. So, as you heard from the other guys, this thing is supposed to save, they're estimating 1 to 2 bushels. So let's just say we're at the 2 bushel end of that spectrum. We're going to run over roughly 1,900 acres of soybeans this fall. Let's say we did them all with this head. That 2 bushel, it's 3,800 bushel. Let's go with today's price. This is what we closed at yesterday at our local elevator. $13.56. That comes out to $51,528 So that's why we're doing this. So one thing I noticed anytime I get out and I have to work on our heads, obviously we've not had this head in beans. This head's brand new. The only thing it's ran over is some wheat. But every time we run or work on our McDon heads, the cutter bar right there at the rock guard, there's always beans there. I can always see them rolling off the front. And normally, I mean, we are definitely losing beans off the front of our head. That's why we're doing this. I mean, let's take that number and divide it in half. I mean, we're still saving $25,500, $25,700. So, I mean, this thing will pay for itself in half a season. So that's kind of what we're thinking. Hopefully we're right. Hopefully that's how it works, but I definitely see some benefits to this. And like I mentioned before with the flex cutter bar, I think this is going to bridge the gap of what we're missing with the McDon and what we're gaining with the flex cutter bar. So there it is. That's what we got. We're almost ready for harvest with this combine. We are actually putting something else on the corn head. We just haven't done it yet. So this corn head is going to get a set of Yetter Devastators. So one thing we are going to do before we bolt any parts on, we're going to put the head on the combine and put the pallet of parts on the head. I think we're going to be okay with the loaded tires. I think we'll be okay as far as weight. One other thing I'm going to point out. So a lot of people have asked me why our combine, why the head is offset, and why we didn't true that up. Here's why. Lots of people are pointing out that you can move your window frame over and then that would move the head over and all this good stuff. Well, here's why we have to run it this way. If we move this window frame, and by that I mean this part, this is the piece right here that is specific to the gleaner. We could take this frame off, put a different frame on, and run this head on a different combine if we wanted to. But this is the gleaner window frame. We cannot just simply scoot it over, because if we scoot it over, we are cutting out the amount of grain that's going to come in from that side. That's why. We're right in the middle of that auger hanger. Maybe it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but it seems to me like if we scoot over too far to one side, we're not in the middle, and we're cutting out how much is coming off one side, that could start, you know, bunching up there. But that's my theory. I don't know if it's correct or not, but yeah, that's why. But hey everybody, thanks for watching. Do me a favor and thumbs up the video if you enjoyed the content. Leave us a comment, and we'll see you in the next one. So when this comes out, we'll probably be getting ready to head to Farm Progress Show.